I'm Marianne Mashiri on The World Today for BBC News. Love saying that.
Live from London, this is BBC News. Countries across East Asia welcome in the new year with colourful festivities and fireworks as celebrations continue around the world.
And after bad weather put a stop to last year's outdoor Hogmanay celebrations here in Edinburgh, tonight are set to go ahead with fireworks and bagpipes.
In other news, the United Nations condemns Israel's plan to suspend dozens of aid groups from operating in Gaza and the West Bank from New Year's Day. And the Queen praises the bravery of BBC racing commentator John Hunt and his family after the murder of his wife and two daughters. Hello, a very warm welcome to you. I'm Kasia Madera. The new year is being welcomed in around the world as farewells are said to 2025. Celebrations are being held to mark the start of 2026. And we're monitoring some live shots across the globe. We can take you to New Delhi, where in around half an hour's time, it will be New Year there. So those celebrations coming live across the world. We know that New Delhi has had some heavy smog blanketing New Delhi, so travel plans disrupted, but as and when those celebrations do start there, we'll take you live. And you can watch the programme on the BBC News YouTube channel. And if you're in the UK, you can listen to the full BBC Radio 4 Today programme with guest editor Baroness Theresa May by heading to BBC Sounds. I'm going to be back in just a few moments around the world across the UK. You're with BBC News. Hello, welcome back. You're with BBC News. The United Nations has condemned Israel's threat to suspend dozens of aid groups from operating in Gaza and the West Bank from the 1st of January. The UN's High Commissioner for Human Rights, Volker Turk, described Israel's decision as outrageous.
As I also mentioned before, that we are already living up to because we have been registered with the Israeli authorities and in East Jerusalem.
Magnus Corfixon from Oxfam, thank you so much for just talking us through that. Apologies for interrupting. Live from London, this is BBC News. Countries around the world welcome in the new year with fireworks and festivities.
And I'm here at London's embankment as 100,000 people await the new year, the biggest fireworks display in Europe.
And I'm in Edinburgh ahead of its world-famous Hogmanay celebrations.
In other news, the United Nations condemns Israel's plan to suspend dozens of aid groups from operating in Gaza and the West Bank from New Year's Day. And the Queen praises the bravery of BBC racing commentator John Hunt and his family after the murder of his wife and two daughters. Hello, a very warm welcome to BBC News. I'm Kasia Madera. The new year is being welcomed in around the world as farewells are said to 2025. Celebrations are being held to mark the start of 2026. And next up, to mark the moment that the new year rolls around, is Pakistan. We are having a quick look at some images hopefully from Karachi, where people are enjoying a fireworks concert and a concert. This is near the Grand Port, which my understanding is the biggest shopping mall in Karachi. That was Magnus Corfixon from Oxfam, one of the organisations on that list. Much more on all of our stories coming up, but we're going to take a short break. Around the world, across the UK, you're with BBC News. Hello, welcome back. You're with BBC News. Finnish police have seized a cargo ship sailing from Russia, which is suspected of causing damage to undersea telecoms cables in the Gulf of Finland. The ship was sailing from the Russian port of St. Petersburg, and the crew have been detained. What a way to head into the new year. Let's take you back to Karachi in Pakistan, which has been celebrating the new year. These fireworks displays have been going on for nearly 25 minutes now as Karachi welcomes in 2026. This is taking place at Port Grand, located on the waterfront of the native jetty bridge. Another shot we're looking at, let's have a look at London and the London Eye. Not long to go here in the UK. You're with BBC News. A very warm welcome to BBC News with me, Kasia Madera, as we see the United Arab Emirates welcoming in 2026. These are the dramatic images from the Burj Khalifa skyscraper as we watch the highest skyscraper in the world see in 2026, seeing in the new year. And simultaneously, with the magic of television, we can also show you Abu Dhabi, also in the UAE. Months and months of preparations to get these fireworks spectaculars to this point where we bring in 2026. The United Arab Emirates welcoming in 2026. The Burj Khalifa featuring dazzling lights, over 6,600 lights, also 127 strobe arrays, and also fog nozzles apparently as well. Huge choreography taking place. The Burj Khalifa on one side, and we've also got Abu Dhabi as well, welcoming in the new year. The United Arab Emirates doing it in style. And this is a little bit further north, also still staying in the UAE. This is the Ras Al Khaimah Emirate. It's the northernmost emirate in the United Arab Emirates. And this is the Marjan Islands, a man-made place for holidaying, which is really competing against Abu Dhabi and Dubai. But all eyes on the Burj Khalifa there. Greg Mackenzie, as always, thank you so much. Stay warm and we'll be back with you throughout the night. Greg and the team there in central London. If you haven't got a ticket, if you're not there, you don't need to be. Stay with us here on the BBC News channel because my colleague Nikki Schiller will take you through into 2026 and he will definitely have the best view. He's coming on a little bit later to tell us exactly what's going to happen when Big Ben chimes midnight. We're going to take a short break. Around the world, across the UK, you're with BBC News. Welcome back. You are with BBC News. Much more on the New Year's festivities coming up. But first, some of the day's other news stories. Russia's defense ministry has released pictures claiming to show that Ukraine targeted a residence of President Putin in a mass drone attack. Well, a little bit closer to home, let's take you back to the view from central London. The whole of the River Thames that you can see there, that is where we are expecting a dazzling display of fireworks and drones. Possibly some celebrities, the London Eye there, just waiting before it will get illuminated to bring in 2026. Do stay with us here on BBC News. Hello, welcome to BBC News. You're with me, Kasia Madera, as we watch Qatar welcoming in 2026. As the world says farewell to 2025, we're just awaiting Qatar to erupt in a spectacular display of fireworks. These are live pictures of the capital, Doha, with a fireworks celebration at the Lusail Boulevard, which extends just over 1 kilometre, and it's actually one of the busiest spots in Qatar. So we'll come back there as they are counting down to ring in 2026 Doha style. So we leave Doha, we move to Nairobi as they also welcome in the new year. Fireworks there in Kenya, really drawing in the crowds. So from Nairobi, we go to Bahrain. And this is what the Bahrain Tourism and Exhibitions Authority are announcing as a major closing celebration of 2025, featuring fireworks and the biggest drone show ever staged in the Kingdom of Bahrain, as the kingdom brings in and welcomes in 2026 to dramatic effect. Here we are in Syria, Damascus. Second New Year's since the fall of Bashar al-Assad. Syria celebrating following that dramatic political shift 2 years ago. And we're going to show you a slightly different view. This is the Red Square in Moscow, where, as you can see, no fireworks, no celebrations. President Putin, Russia's leader, has imposed a ban, not just on fireworks and festivities being scrapped in major cities, including the capital, but also no holiday drinking is what he's urging. Russians being urged not to ring in the new year amid security fears. And on top of the holiday prohibition, the Kremlin has also told residents to expect mobile internet disruptions, as well as alcohol sales being restricted. Of course, its ongoing war with Ukraine being blamed for the party prohibitions. So a very different view of Red Square there in Russia. Sir Sadiq Khan there, Mayor of London, speaking to me, giving us a little taster of what we can expect in the next few hours. We will have special coverage right here on the BBC News channel. Short break now. Around the world, across the UK, you're with BBC News. Hello, welcome back. You're with BBC News. Much more on the New Year's Eve celebrations coming up, but just a little bit of an update from the United States, where we're hearing that US President Donald Trump has said on Truth Social, on his social media post. Helena Wilkinson with that report. Much more on that story on our website. Now, as we here in the UK inch closer to midnight, let's have a look at how other countries around the world have been welcoming in their New Year's. So Auckland in New Zealand celebrating first and with style the start of 2026. Laser lights and a firework display over the city's Sky Tower and Harbour Bridge. Then just a few hours after that, Sydney welcoming in the new year with a display over the harbour with 40,000 pyrotechnic effects stretching 7 kilometres across buildings and barges, which included, of course, the iconic Harbour Bridge and Opera House. We also saw Malaysia celebrate the new year. These were the scenes from Kuala Lumpur. And we also took a moment to see a rather extraordinary display from China, Beijing, where the new year was drawn in with a countdown and a drum performance at a section of the Great Wall. Of course, we'll continue to mark the new year as countries bring in 2026, and we'll have a special programme later tonight. Hello, welcome. You're with BBC News. I'm Kasia Madera. Queen Camilla has praised the courage of the BBC racing commentator John Hunt and his family after his wife Carol and 2 daughters, Louise and Hannah, were killed by Louise's ex-partner. In a conversation with John and his surviving daughter Amy, the Queen also shared publicly for the first time her experience of being indecently assaulted as a teenager.
If you or someone you know have been affected by the issues discussed in this programme, please visit BBC Action Line to find information on organisations that can help.
And you can watch that programme again on the BBC News YouTube channel. And if you're in the UK, you can also listen to the full BBC Radio 4 Today programme with guest editor Baroness Theresa May by heading to BBC Sounds. We're going to take a short break. Around the world, across the UK, this is BBC News. You're with BBC News. A head-on collision between 2 trains on the line that services Peru's Machu Picchu has killed 1 person and injured at least 40 others. I'm back in just a few moments' time. A warm welcome to BBC News. I'm Kasia Madera as we watch Bulgaria seeing countdown to the new year 2026. Residents in Sofia, visitors flooding the city's central Battenberg Square for the traditional open-air New Year's concert, which is just about to kick off now as we see Bulgaria welcoming in 2026. And for the second consecutive year, the municipality is replacing traditional fireworks with a large-scale light show. They describe it as being a more environment-friendly New Year celebration. And now to Greece. Athens also bringing in 2026. Also, they describe as replacing traditional booming fireworks for what they describe as quieter, more inclusive New Year celebrations. The new spectacle featuring low-noise pyrotechnics, also a dazzling light show and innovative drone displays. And Greece saying that the drive to change is a desire to create a child and a pet-friendly atmosphere, benefiting animals with sensitive hearing and reducing distress for vulnerable groups. Athens Mayor saying that this is a new era in New Year celebrations, respecting people and animals. Well, we'll keep a watch on you, but no pressure. Nikki, thank you so much. Nikki Schiller there, who's going to be seeing in the new year on the BBC News channel. So from me and the team working tonight on New Year's Eve, just my time to wish you a very, very happy New Year's Eve, wherever you're celebrating, whatever you're doing. Thanks for being with BBC News. Bye-bye.
Hello there, a cold wind all the way from the Arctic.